customers come in to solace or experience the T.Barnes Beauty brand, they're connecting with the fact that we have something to talk about.
For a lifestyle of beauty, we'll give you everything you need. You're a living beauty at T.Barnes Beauty, at T.Barnes Beauty.
So how do you end up here with wine?
I had to look around because I started with wine because when I went and I started to think, what did I want to do as far as beverages were concerned? I like to cook, but I always was trying to find something that I can always share with my cooking and share with other people. And it was always when we would go out, we would have different alcoholic beverages, a little bit.
A little.
And
A little lot.
most people are connoisseurs when it comes to their vodkas, their rums. But for women, it's kind of harsh sometimes unless they have a particular brand. And I said, let me look into these brands and see what's going on. And when I started, I said, well, I'm a little black girl from Brooklyn, New York. Let me see how many black people are actually making different alcoholic beverages. I came to find out that basically if you're a celebrity, they're doing a lot of vodkas, different types of vodkas. But I wanted something a little bit more. And from me being smaller and growing up and seeing my father come home with these cases and it would have 2 bottles in it, and I'd be like, Dad, what is that? And he would say, oh, it's wine. We got them as Christmas gifts and so forth. So it always stuck in my mind. And I would always see the commercials when we were small. We watched it, but even though they were black and white or when they started color, I always remembered the Christmas bells and 2 glasses clinging together. I was like, that's really cool. So after my investigations, I found out there wasn't a lot, unfortunately, of black people that we know on paper. So I said, I have to look and see where these things are made. And I just started investigating even more.
How many people were there? I'm curious.
I came up with 2.
Wow. Now there's 3.
Yes.
So what's the process? Like, how do you start? Everybody's always thinking about, on this show, what we deal with are people living a lifestyle of beauty, which Deborah Thompson is living a lifestyle of beauty, just let me tell you. And it goes far beyond making wine. How do you get to this process? So tell me, what is it that you do, and how do you take on these projects? And what are the other things that you're doing?
Well, basically, in the very beginning, I would do a lot of things for other promoters here in New York City, as far as basically doing gopher work, if you will. And it went from there, and it wasn't until one day I found out, after doing a promotion with a promoter, some of the advertisement wasn't as genuine as it should have been. And I was put in a situation basically that other people would run from, but thank God I had good friends behind me, and they stayed. And they were like, we're going to work this out, while everyone else disappeared. And after that, I said, you know what? I'm actually going to do my own company. And that's how I got into my production company and events. So I did promotions, production, and events. Then I went for promotion events, and I like to bake a lot, cook a lot. So I, added on to my grandmother's recipe for hot pepper sauce. And a lot of people like that. So I said, well, let me move on. But
I remember the hot pepper sauce. What's the name of that brand?
It's Hella Hot Pepper Sauce.
Hella Hot Pepper Sauce. I gotta try some of that.
So, you should. you can get it. I'll make sure you get it. But, I knew that things were progressing rapidly, because when I see that my mother especially wants this pepper sauce, she's very, very particular, but it wouldn't stay on the table very long. So I said, wow, and she wanted to invest. My mother doesn't invest or give her money like that. Okay, she's not, you know, a cheap woman, but she's frugal with her money and very conscious spending, you know. So, you know, I started to make that, and I said, you know, I really want, when I'm cooking, I would like to sit down and have a wine. And I said, you know what, I'm going to make wine. And I looked around and said, where do I start? So I started investigating even more. And after my due diligence, I found one place that I could call home, and that was here, City Winery.
The City Winery, which is a beautiful location.
Thank you.
It is beautiful.
It's a wonderful place. You're at home. The cuisine is excellent, but it's their winemaking that is number one.
Well, now we're gonna go check this place out, and trust me, I've already taken a tour. We're gonna have a scandal moment in a few minutes. It's gonna be big body wine glasses. Hopefully we'll make it through the rest of the day. Stay tuned. This is my favorite part of the interview, the tasting. I call this the red room. It is absolutely stunning down here. And we're about to taste some champagne. So how does a grape go from being a grape to becoming a wine? How does that work?
Well, the grapes that are used for wine, especially Thompson wine, they come from all over the world. How I do it is that we have access to over 15 different areas. So the top vineyards in the country and in the world, we get them. So we take the grapes at its natural process, you know, take it from its roots and its vines, and we bring them in. And it's what's called a crushing of the grapes. That's when everything is separated, everyone comes and enjoys themselves, and we're actually separating the grapes from the vines that are left attached to it. And when you taste those grapes, you'll see why. The taste is exquisite. You'll love them. And the grapes basically are crushed. They're placed into the barrel, and naturally they're crushed. So you're getting all the juices from those grapes. And everything for Thompson Wines is natural. We let it take its process, put it into the oak barrel, and let it do its own thing. So basically, you know, most wines that you find, you'll get them, they're processed in a factory. That's why you see they have much more. These are vintage, so they're by the year. So starting off with just sitting in the barrel, approximately 2 years before you even taste the product.
Wow.
So also, the wine grapes, you can make champagne. So,
Which is what we have here.
you know, this year came out with Thompson Cuvée, which is champagne. Everyone knows champagne is originally, France has the rights to the name champagne, but champagne is made, you know, all over the world. But we have Thompson Cuvée now, and it's, I call it Blanc de Blancs, which is the best of the best, which is whites of whites. So you're getting the best champagne, and the beauty of it, it's made right here in New York City.
I can't wait to taste it. Can we taste it?
Sure.
Okay. I feel like it's New Year's.
You can have champagne for every occasion. It's a celebration.
Woo!
Whoa,
Yes.
that's a big celebration.
Yes.
No. Now, you see the bubbles?
Yes.
That tells all when it comes to a champagne. But however, when it comes down from the top of the glass, see the effervescence?
Yes.
That's the sugars.
So it's continuing to move.
It's continuously moving because of the sweetness of the grape. So, let's see how you like the taste. Cheers.
Wow.
You smell the aroma?
Now this is so sophisticated. I really want to start to understand why I do this. I do it anyway, just because I know you're supposed to.
But what flavors do you smell when you smell the champagne? What comes to mind? What fruits?
It smells very flowery.
Yeah, you smell a little bit of vanilla. You'll smell a little bit of apricot. That's naturally coming from a grape. And the only way you can get that is the best of the best.
Wow.
So right now you're tasting a 2010 Blanc de Blanc Thompson Wines.
This is yummy.
Thank you.
Wow. I'm gonna drink mine. Because this is not for pretend. Let's hope we can make it to the rest of the interview. All right, so you are doing so many things with your life, right? You've decided what makes you happy, and you do it. And some of them don't even make sense together, and they don't have to, right?
No, I don't.
What is your motivation? What's your passion? How do you sustain these things? How do you push forward in the goals that you have set for yourself?
I take it day by day. I mean, a lot of people can multitask. I just focus on what I want to get done that day. Because you can't, make yourself crazy about it. But I stay focused. I think one of the biggest things that people have to realize, especially in our generation, so that the generations behind us can come forward, not only do you have to do due diligence, you have to investigate things properly, get your information reliably, and move forward. But not only do you follow up on your forwardness, you must follow through. Always follow through. A lot of us follow up, but how many follow through? So that's basically what I think is necessary, and that's what has worked for me. And I've seen it. I've seen it with others. I've seen you. I mean, there's certain role models, but you have to be, you have to go forward. That's the important thing. You can't let anyone block your dreams. You can't let them stop you from accomplishing what rightfully belongs to you. I'm Deborah Thompson, and I am Living Beauty.